Hello everybody, this is Elias5891 with another KTANE module tutorial. This time we are going over Follow the Leader. This is a Edgework required bomb, or Edgework required module, sorry. So let's start by grabbing that information. We have 4 batteries in 3 holders. RJ port, serial port. And our serial number, 5 Golf 6, Hotel Papa 6. So this is Follow the Leader. There's a bunch of wires connected to pins. Kind of makes a star if it wasn't skipping some in the process. And the goal of this is to cut the appropriate wires in the appropriate order. Now this one, 2 ways that this one commonly gets done. One is expert heavy, where the diffuser gives the expert all the information they need, they solve it, give the solution back. The other is a little bit more interactive, back and forth. I'll demonstrate both, but we're going to start with the expert primarily method. So we'll come over here to this one. And this is how I've always done this one. You'll notice from the rules here that it specifies that a wire leading from plug 1 is considered to be wire 1. So a wire number is named or numbered based on where it starts, where the smaller number is, with the exception of 12 to 1, which would start at 12 and end at 1. So the information I would give as a diffuser is I would tell which pegs are skipped, so which ones don't have anything going to them. In this case, we're skipping 8 and 10. So as the expert, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, skip 8, 9, skip 10, 11, 12. And then I read the colors, again starting with 1. Black, red, green, blue, black, green, blue, blue, red, white. So what do we do with this info? Well, first we just find our starting position. We're going to go through the rules, find the first one that applies. First rule, there's an RJ port present and a wire going from 4 directly to 5. So that means 4's got a pin, 5's got or 4 and 5, neither are skipped. Well, neither 4 or 5 were skipped, and I do have an RJ port. So my starting point is in fact going to be wire 4 to 5, or wire 4. So that gives me my start position. As for cutting wires, we're always going to cut the wire at the starting plug, and that's going to be our first one. So you'll notice I marked it with an S, that's where we start. From there, we're going to follow the instructions here on page 2. As we go through each wire, we're going to go through another step, and we're going to start with the first letter of the serial. Our serial number started with a G, so we're going to start here on step G. Also to note, we want to see what the first wires what the first wires colored. In this case, it's blue, because if the wire at the starting plug is red, green, or white, we're going to go through the steps in reverse alphabetical order. Whereas if it's one of the other colors, white or black, yellow, or blue, then we're going to go in normal order. So we're going to start with rule G, looking at this one. This rule is the previous wire is yellow or white or green. That's not true. It's not yellow or white or green. It was blue. So this is not a valid case, so we're not going to cut this one. Then we move to the next wire, the next pin, and the next rule, and we're going alphabetical because we did not hit one of these special colors. The previous wire should not be cut. Well, the previous wire we said was not going to get cut, so that's true. The previous wire should not be cut, so we're going to cut this one. C for cut. Next wire, next rule. The previous wire skips a plug. Well, the previous wire went from 6 to 7, so it didn't skip a plug. False, no cut. Next, the previous wire is not white or black or red. Previous wire is blue. That's not black or white or red, so that's true, so we cut. Next, the previous two wires different colors. So if we're on this one, the previous two colors, blue and blue, they are not different colors. That's false, so we're not going to cut it. The previous wire does not lead to a position labeled 6 or less. The previous wire started at 11, ended at 12, ended at the one we're on now. So it did not lead to a position labeled 6 or less. It led to a position labeled 12. So that's true, we cut. We're going to loop back around. Next rule, exactly one or neither of the previous two wires are white or black. Well, the previous two are red and white, so exactly one are white or black, so this is true. We're going to cut. Next one, and because we're at the bottom of the alphabet, we're going to loop back up to the top. The previous wire is not yellow or blue or green. Previous wire was black. It's not yellow or blue or green, so that's a cut. And lastly, the previous wire leads to an even numbered plug. This was my previous wire. It went from 2 to 3. It did not lead to an even numbered plug. It led from an even numbered plug, but didn't lead to an even numbered plug. So that's false, so we're not going to cut it. So there's my solution. These are the ones I need to cut. So we start here at 4, so we're going to cut 4, and that's for my diffuser. That's the one starting at 4. So 4, 6, so the one starting at 6, 9, so that's the one from 9 to 11, 12, so 12 to 1, 1, which is 1 to 2, and 2, which is 2 to 3. Module complete. Let's do another one using this method. We skip 4 and 7 this time. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, skip 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Colors are in order: yellow, green, red, black, black, green, 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 green. Something did not go right there on my lining up. Let's try that again. Yellow, green, red, black, black, green, 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 green. Notice this kind of looks like one, but it's 2 black wires, 5 to 6, and then 6 to 8. It's a little tricky when they have the same color line up in a straight line like this. So let's wipe the board. If there's an RJ port is present, and there's a wire leading from 4 to 5. This time there's not. We skipped 4, so we go to the next rule. If there's a wire that begins at a plug matching the number of batteries. There's 4 batteries, and there's not a 4 wire, so next rule. Otherwise, if there is a wire that begins at a plug matching the first numeral of the serial number. My serial number starts with a 5. There is one starting at a 5, so we're going to start here. My first one is black. If we look here, black's not one of the reverse orders, so we're going to go in normal order again. So let's go through the rules. Previous wire is yellow or white or green. False. It's black. So that's not a cut. Previous wire should not be cut. We said nope, so that is true. Previous wire skips a plug. Previous wire goes 7 to 9. It does not skip a plug. The previous wire is not white or black or red. It's green. That's not white or black or red, so that's a cut. The previous 2 wires are different colors. Previous 2 are green and green. That is not true. Skip. The previous wire does not lead to a position labeled 6 or less. Previous wire goes 11 to 12. It does not lead to 6 or less, so that's a cut. That's true. Exactly one or neither of the previous 2 wires are white or black. So I'm on 1, so my previous 2 wires are green and green. 0 of them are white or black. That's a cut. The previous wire is not yellow or blue or green. It's yellow, so the statement that it's not yellow or something, that's false, so we don't cut. The previous wire leads to an even numbered plug. goes from 2 to 3. It does not go to an even, so that's false. So there's my solution. And I mentioned that you want to make sure you start in the right spot and go to the right, or go through the steps in the right order. Make sure you cut them in order. Because 5 is our starting point, so we're going to cut 5 to 6. Let's say maybe I messed up and I didn't see that this was a cut. So I said the next one to cut is 10. 10 to 11. So I cut 10. It's a strike. It's actually something that is supposed to be cut, but I skipped a wire in the process. So that's a sign that either this should not have been cut, or one of these that I skipped was supposed to be cut. That's a warning sign. You need to recheck what you've done. So let's get this one done right. We said 5 to 6, or wire 5, so starting at 5, that's cut 8. So this one, 8 to 9. 10, which we previously cut. 12 and 1. Now this is doing it with the expert taking the biggest load of the work. However, some people prefer to do it with the diffuser taking the bigger portion of the work. So let's do this one with the back and forth, or the interactive method. Hey look, this one doesn't skip any. What I've usually seen is the diffuser will ask for the rules. So the expert will go RJ port present and a wire from 4 to 5. So the diffuser checks. Nope, next rule. Wire beginning at a plug matching the number of batteries. The expert knows that's 4 batteries. So wire beginning at 4. That is the case, so the diffuser will go, okay, cutting starting at yellow. So the expert knows that the first one they cut is yellow, so we're still not going in reverse order. So they're just going to read the rules, and the diffuser, meanwhile, will check them himself. So we cut this. We're going to try to go back and forth and demonstrate this well. So I'm on wire 6, and if I was the diffuser, I wouldn't have to go back and forth, so I'd just kind of hover over which one I'm on. I can't really do that since I need to go back and actually, let's not go back and forth. Follow along, but I'm not going to highlight them this time. So we're going to start with rule G. The previous wire is yellow or white or green. It is yellow. Cut. Next, the previous wire should not be cut. We cut it, so that's false. Skipping that one. Next, previous wire skips a plug. Last wire went 8 to 9, did not skip a plug, so we're going to skip it. Next, previous wire is not white or black or red. It is white, so that's not true. Next, the previous two wires are different colors. The previous two are white and white, so that's false. Next, the previous wire does not lead to a position labeled 6 or less. This is my current wire, so this is my previous wire. It leads to one that is 6 or less, so that's going to be a skip. Next, exactly one or neither of the previous two wires are white or black. That's true. One of my last two is black, the other one was yellow, so I'm going to cut this one. We're done with this one. Now this one did not really save a ton of time, but let's do another one. This one might. Again, 4 to 5 is my start, or go through the rules. RJ port and 4 to 5. So my diffuser is going to look true, starting at red. Aha! We're finally starting at red, which is one of these here. So this time, instead of going this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule, down the order, we're going to go in reverse alphabetical order. So we're still going to start with this one, but then we're going to go up instead of down. So we did that one. Rules. The previous wire is yellow or white or green. It was red. That's false. Skip. Next, exactly one of the previous two wires are the same color as this wire. This one is white. Neither of the last two were white. They were green, red. Skip. Next, two of the previous 3 wires share a color. That was white, green, and red. None of those share a color. Skipping it. Next, the previous wire is red or blue or black. It was green. None of those. False. We skip it. Next, the previous wire should be cut. We skipped it. That's false. Skip. Next, The previous wire leads to an even-numbered plug. The previous one was 9 to 10. That's true. We cut. Next. The previous wire is not yellow or blue or green. It was blue. That's false. Next. Going to loop back to the bottom. Exactly one or neither of the previous two wires are white or black. One was white, one was blue, so exactly one was those colors. Cut. And notice we don't have to check the rest because we know we're done. Green light, we're finished. So, I'd tell my expert, okay, we're done. That way he doesn't read me more rules I don't need. Those are your two methods, kind of back and forth like we did on these two, and then dumping everything to your expert, which we did for these two. The rules are not too terribly hard, but it's important that you take your time, keep track of which wire you're on, don't skip rules in the process. And, some of them seem a little tricky, like exactly one or neither. So that one basically says they're not both white or black. Or the previous wire does not lead to 6 or less. Well, that's the same thing as saying this one didn't start at 6 or less. So there's different ways you can interpret these. The thing is kind of get into a groove, get a rhythm and a method that feels comfortable. I personally would suggest kind of doing the expert method that we did first as you get started on this module. And as you get a little more comfortable, you can do the back and forth. Truthfully, mainly because you can finish one early. I think it's the quicker method in the long run, but it's the harder method. So I would say start with the other method, start with the expert method, and work your way up. But that's it for this one. That is Follow the Leader. Thank you so much for watching. As always, feel free to leave comments, questions, concerns, suggestions in the comment section. I'm going to guess this one until we blow up. But this has been Eliott. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have fun and don't explode. Bye, guys.